Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terance Mathis. I'm William Brandon, and that's another Atlanta Falcons legend, Bob Whitfield. Again, everyone, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Atlanta Sports Unlimited, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss an episode. Thank you, Bob, for joining us today.
It's gonna be a good one today. It's gonna be a really good one today. Okay, let's go at it, William. What you got?
All right. So, I'm sure that you guys have heard the reports coming out from Chris Mortensen that the head coach and GM are at odds about what to do with that fourth overall pick. Terry's wanting to possibly draft Trey Lance, and Arthur Smith is believing that Matt has still 2 years. But as you said before, Terance, the Falcons could possibly draft Lance and let him sit behind Ryan. And that would give both guys what they want. What do you guys think of what's going on right now in the Atlanta front office? We'll start with you, Terance.
Well, I've said all along the Falcons has the trump card in this number 4 pick. They can trade out of that 4th pick, trade it down, trade out of the first round, whatever. They can't make a mistake here unless, and I've said this before, if they draft the offensive lineman. And then all Falcons fans are going to turn the draft off. What say you, Bob Whitfield, about that?
Oh, look at this guy. And Terance, you got me over your shoulder, and I'm supposed to be the good angel, and you say that. You say that they can't draft the offensive lineman, but to me, it might serve their purpose if you want to get 2 serviceable years out of Matt Ryan. So that if you draft an offensive lineman to protect him, since you lost Mack and Carpenter, the center and left guard, you can get a kid like Slater high up in the draft out of Northwestern that can play center, play guard, play tackle. Then you can wait later on in the draft and see if one of those other quarterbacks falls later, maybe 2nd round, maybe get a 3rd round quarterback that is a good understudy for Matt Ryan, and see what the future holds as his replacement might come in a draft in 2023, 2024.
See, now that makes sense. Now, what you said makes sense. If you want to go with Matt Ryan, protect him for the next couple of years, and then this young guy at offensive line has gained experience. Then when you bring the new quarterback in, you already have a ready-made line to protect him and take care of him. That makes sense, Bob. But I still think that pick, again, as I said prior, the Falcons can't go wrong with that 4th pick. They hold all the cards right now. So whatever they do, it's going to be best for the Atlanta Falcons and this franchise.
I think you're definitely both. I think both of you guys are on to something. I mean, specifically with the Falcons and this pick, if the other 3 teams, and now that we know that the Jets are going to be drafting a quarterback because they traded away Sam Darnold, what does that necessarily mean for the Falcons? They cannot blow this 4th overall pick, whether it's move back or they stay pat. I mean, I play devil's advocate for a second there, Bob. Do you think a quarterback at any point for that number 4 pick is not the way to go?
Well, I look at it similar to, I was on the team when Michael Vick came in, and you see what the flash of excitement, what it brought. So Arthur can look at it from a point of, if I want hype in the stands, if I want that energy back in that, I can't call it that Mercedes-Benz, I'm sorry. It's a dome to me. If I want hype back in that dome, you might go get a Justin Fields. You might say, give me Justin Fields high up, because Southern guy, he's been here. He can bring that back to the Falcons, and he can add that splash without having to be a full-time quarterback maybe that first year. Maybe he has to really earn his job that first year, which creates a natural competitive balance that for a new coach, new GM, if you do a quarterback in the first round, you let them compete against each other. Matt Ryan, rookie can't beat him out early on. 3 games in, he surpasses them and brings the spark. That's the Falcons need.
Yeah. Well, and I agree, Bob. If for a new head coach, first-time head coach, for a new GM, first-time GM, I think if you do draft a Justin Fields in that 4th pick, what it does is saying to all the Falcons fans is that, okay, we're trying to do something. We're trying to bring excitement back to Mercedes-Benz, back to the Atlanta area. And as I said before, William, didn't we have that celebrity that we all been looking for
Yes.
since Michael Vick has left here? So I think, again, I'm going to keep saying this. They can't go wrong with this fourth pick. Now, with that being said, you have Denver and New England still sitting out there looking for quarterbacks. So it could be interesting. Now, if I'm the Falcons, I'm listening to Denver. And the only way I go down out of this fourth pick if you give me Von Miller. Okay, I'll take Von Miller and we'll trade first round picks. I think that's the only option for the Falcons with the Denver Broncos.
I saw a thing out there where people were just making up scenarios. Would you ever trade that number 4 to the Saints for Alvin Kamara and other people involved?
No, you don't need that. You don't need an Alvin Kamara. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get, if you do your due diligence in this draft, in the 3rd or 4th round, you're gonna find a player that's comparable. I'm not saying like Kamara, but you're going to find a player that can give you some of the same attributes as Kamara can.
Bob, I know you mentioned about the offensive line and what the Falcons can do to help that out. Can you tell us what it meant for the Falcons to lose someone like Alex Mack on the offensive line?
Well, I think when your center is the toughest guy on your offensive line, as I saw it, I think as he displayed, he is the center and the crux. He's the one most connected to the quarterback. He's the one that's usually calling the plays. So he's going to be the one that dominates in the meeting room to corral the guys, to get them to go the right direction so that you can limit the amount of mental errors on the field. So when you have to replace that and you're replacing it with young centers, young talent that may not have that veteran voice, you don't know if it's going to basically permeate in the ears of those other offensive linemen that they're going to be all on the same page. But how do you correct that? Terance said an interesting thing just in the mindset about, if I looked at a young coach, though, to get, not just saying Alvin Kamara or even a Von Miller, but to get players of unknown status, future draft picks, and say, let's build the team over the next 3 years. Let's not look at immediate success. Let's just be competitive success. And maybe trickle in and do something, because Smith came from a dominant, bruising, play-action running attack. And if you look at what we have out of Gurley left, they still need a running back. So you can push down and go get you a star like Najee Harris, like Travis Etienne, pushing back and establish a dominant run game. Maybe get a tight end pick, a top tight end that you can have really a weaponry with 2 tight end sets. So Falcons, to me, got the most options just because quarterback is truly, in my opinion, an unnecessary draft pick.
Exactly. Well said. I've been saying that. Right now, you can't get rid of Matt Ryan because of his cap numbers, so you're stuck with him. So you might as well wait, and there's going to be someone that's going to be a real good quarterback sitting in that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round that you can go get.
Definitely. Like you say, I think that part there, the fans are going to be, it's going to be crazy in a couple of weeks, especially when it's going to.
Well, William, when we first started this thing, we kept talking about edge rusher. Let's go get an edge rusher. And I was against that because that's just like drafting the quarterback, because you're going to have to pay him high dollar. That's just like drafting an offensive tackle. You got to pay high dollar. But I want to hear from Bob. Bob, tell us why it is important for you to have a dominant edge rush, especially with you being a former offensive tackle. Tell them the need of a team to have a dominant edge rusher.
Well, because of what you have with the ability in the passing game. And I say with all the protections afforded now with receivers and quarterbacks, the ability to get off the ball, release, quarterbacks not getting hit as much. that you need a guy that can go one-on-one and disrupt the passing attack. Because if quarterbacks are allowed to have protection and you have to blitz, then what happens is the weaponry of the offense just murders you because of the fact that now you're putting so much to disrupt the quarterback in linebackers or secondary blitzes that these little receivers, the Ridleys and all those type of cats is killing you one-on-one on the outside edge. So basically, you need a dominant pass disruptor. And I don't use sacks. That's you know, Chuck say get sacks. But ideally disrupts, so that one-on-one matchup, if you leave offensive line one-on-one, and Falcons got Grady, he's a good one-on-one. I like Fowler. You can handle one-on-one, but you still need that premier, like Chase, that comes on and like, ooh, he scares somebody like Garrett. Ooh, he scares you. And you mentioned Vaughn. Vaughn still is scary, I would say. So.
Yeah, and like I said this before, Bob, you don't need a guy that's going to go out there and get you 10, 12, double-digit sacks. You want somebody that the quarterback has to say, at any minute, he's going to get to me. And so he's going to want to get the ball out quicker. He want to step up in the pocket. And if we allow that quarterback to step up in the pocket, you got Grady sitting there in the middle right there to take care of that. So edge rusher is important to the fact that he can cause disruption and some attention, not just for sacks only.
But I gotta add to that before we go now. The edge rusher as a position now become premier. It's like, ooh. So what it highlights is now this dude has a premier focus on the field. Like the spotlight is on his productivity, and that's his shine in the league. So now these edge rushers, it's like, are they only rushers? Can they play first and second? What type of true player do you have? So that do you need a edge rusher and a first down run stuffer? And that's what I think the Falcons has to sort out, is that they don't have, only Grady does both, in my opinion, well.
Right.
I want to switch back real quick to, I just want to ask you, Bob, for someone who started every game without missing a game for nearly a decade, what can you advise the Falcons offensive line in particular, what they can do to try to sustain success and longevity that you did for the Falcons?
Well, I think the left tackle, I like Matthews. He's solid to me, solid player. And losing Carpenter, losing Mack means you're going to have replacements. But what you have, I think you have a versatile bunch. They suffered some early injuries just on some happenstance stuff. But as far as what I look at as far as durability, McGarry and Lindstrom, I said they have that big, nice size, that meanness, that tenacity, but also that mobility that I do expect them to be long-time players, getting, a solid protection scheme on the right side. And then they have some flexibility. I think you might even see maybe Caleb move inside, play a guard position. So I think Falcons have some flexibility on that offensive line, that they're a sturdy bunch. And that's the thing. They're a sturdy bunch. So now when you get 3 years with 3 of your guys playing together, that's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay, so in saying that, you are making the decision for the Falcons with that number 4 pick. What is Bob Whitfield taking?
If the Rashawn Slater kid for Northwestern's there, I'm taking offensive lineman. I'm going to give Matt Ryan some protection. Unless somebody jumps up and gives me some nice stuff in the first round so I can push back, I'm taking that offensive lineman. Sorry, Terance.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, that's why I wanted you on here, because of the fact that I was against taking an offensive lineman when we spoke about this earlier. But it makes sense. If you really look at it, it really, really makes sense. If Arthur Smith says Matt Ryan is our guy for the next 2 or 3 years, you better find some protection for him for the next 2 or 3 years. And then if there's a quarterback out there, DJU at Clemson, you go get him, and then you're set.
What about Sewell, Bob? What do you think about him? from Oregon.
I like him, solid player, but as far as the versatility, I just feel like the Northwestern kid has versatility, and mere fact that he just played. Sewell was chilling, not a bad thing, getting his body right, but this kid just played and his versatility. I just like it. I just like his overall versatility. And Falcons need a center and a guard. He can play center, guard, and tackle.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Leatherwood? If the Falcons probably got after him?
I think you can get Leatherwood. I don't think you have to reach up for Leatherwood in the first round. I think people are mixed bag on Leatherwood. They don't know if he's going to shine as tackle, left tackle premier, or needs to go inside a little bit, but he's such a strong-bodied guy. I feel like he's going to function. If he can go to the right side and you can make him a good swing tackle, he can be there for you in the second round type stuff. I think the best two is Sewell and Slater is going to be your best two options. Okay. They got the Darisaw kid out of Virginia Tech. That's a tackle, but I think the Falcons need just truly a guard center kind of wingman. And unless McGarry going to go inside and start playing guard, that's where I just see like, okay, Slater got you the best fit to move around on that line.
Okay.
Look at there. Look at there. See, Falcon fans, look, we bring it to you like that. So you heard me all this time explain my reasonings whatsoever. Let's get it from a guy that plays in the trenches and what he knows, expertise at offensive line. I like it. I love it.
And speaking of which, typically we usually have questions for Terance right now. We don't have any. So Terance, what kind of question you got for Bob?
Bob, here's one, because I was thinking about this. You know, you have Greg Lloyd, Kevin Green, rest his soul, Reggie White, rest his soul, and many others that you played against. Who would be your top three defensive ends that in our era all time that you played against?
And it's one of those things that these guys is legendary. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Reggie White, of course. And I'm like, it's like 4 or 5 plays that I played against him. 4 or 5 plays in that game, I was like, whoa, this is tough. I was like, go on the other side, Reggie. Please stay over there. And it was just the competitive spirit, but then Reggie be like, God bless you. And that was the thing, is that it was rough during the whistle, but then after the play, it was, God bless you. You know, then teammate Chris Doman.
Yeah.
As far as just a pro. Like I always call it your daddy's big hands. When Chris Doman with the big old hands, your daddy's big hands, he grab you up, you know what I'm saying? And then Kevin Green.
Right.
So 3 Hall of Fame legends, Angels, but some of the toughest men. Kevin Green, long arm pass rush, hair hanging down wild. He was the original hair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was just an era where, like you see now, think about that. Those was dominant edge rush players, but they were all down players.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Every
you had to deal with them every down. And now you get the edge player that's, what type of edge player are you? A single down or every down. So that's the thing. I said, these guys were tough. I said, now, do we got those guys in the pros now? You sure are right. You got I said, the closest thing to Reggie, Calais Campbell. But just like that. You know what I'm saying? You get that mix. And then on my honorable mention, John Legend, not John Legend, John Randall. John Randall. I said John Randall built like Grady, Jared on our team. So legendary guys, legendary defenders that make you work every play.
Nice.
Y'all know practice and training camp is not as, I guess, physical as maybe when you guys participated. What was it like, Bob, maybe going against the Hammer in practice or in training camp against Jesse?
Well, if I tell the story, They was giving Jesse the plays in practice. if Jesse tell the story, he said, "Bob, I can see you was looking at me with that cock eye, and I knew you was coming to get me." But I was like, "Jesse, they told you to play, man. There's no way that you knew I was coming." And Jesse, this is the thing about Jesse. That's why I was like, "Oh, Jesse's a terror," because he was elusive. Jesse was quick, elusive, agile, and Jesse was little. As far as bulky in the middle. So he's lean, moving, slick. And after he done leaned you and slicked you and moved on you, and now you all circumstances don't know what to do, then he busts you right in the head. He's like, "Oh, Jesse, you got me." And that's how Jesse was. He was the most dominant linebacker in that I ever practiced against, because I never had opportunity to play. We was always
right.
Oh, that's awesome. Normally at this point in the show, Bob, we do a thing called Terance's Throwbacks, but we actually want to let you tell us a throwback story. And I'm hoping that since you were drafted by the Falcons, you can kind of tell us about your draft experience.
Well,
it's up to you.
Good. No, I tell a good story. And my draft experience is this was the unknown. This is the beauty of the draft, is just this unknown, because it's all speculation. So even my draft was speculation. I thought I was going to Green Bay. The only pre-draft trip I took was to Green Bay. Seeing the facility, Lambeau Field, they sell you on the whole thing. I learned about the community-owned team, all this greatness of Green Bay. So I was like, cool. I'm going to be up in here, Lambeau Field. I'm good. And never talked to the Falcons. Draft day comes, Green Bay's on the clock. I get a phone call, GM Ron Wolf, "Hey, Bob, we're going defense, man." Oh,
wow.
Good for Terrell Buckley, bad for Bobby. So I'm just sitting here. I have no clue what's going to happen next. No clue. And then Atlanta called. It's like, "Oh, I'm going east? Okay." Off the flight, Atlanta, Jerry Glanville. And then it was just like, I'm a West Coast, guy, so I never even saw him play. Like,
right.
And I didn't see him play. Falcons wasn't getting that much love on TV, but then you get here, you get the you get prime time. So it's just like, oh man, I'm glad it happened that way.
Nice.
That's great. I know I'm happy that you ended up being a Falcon, and I'm sure other people are as well. This has been a great episode, a great show. I'm glad that we got you on today, Bob. Anything you want to tell the fans or the people watching?
I think as we all enjoyed a good Falcon football, I said, let's be mindful. Let's be real mindful that, hey, let's all be supportive in our efforts and our thoughts, because I just feel like right now, better energy for that team will change them. Because I think the days it's just like the energy goes on social media, woo. But when you got the energy behind you, how we had it, T knows, when we came from the season before, but the energy from the season before was behind you, the fans, everybody was hyped. That's how it's. Yeah. And that's that stuff. So I said, as Falcons fans, we're going to be responsible for our energy, and it don't matter who they draft, who they put under that block, whoever they give us, we're going to ride out with them, and they better do something. Like, if they don't do nothing now, all that energy we putting out, we at least want free hot dogs. So you better hear me out, Arthur. We're going to come with it now, but we want them free hot dogs.
Free hot dogs.
If y'all don't deliver.
Terance, what you got for us?
Bob said it all. It's just a pleasure to share this platform with my good friend Bob Whitfield, the smartest man I think I ever met in my lifetime. So thank you, Bob, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Continue to check back and subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Have a great day, everybody.